Hello and welcome to the first episode of SamTalk. And as you may have guessed, I am Sam, your host, and this podcast is all about. Okay, I'm coming to that. So, the reason for starting this podcast is primarily to discuss engineering and some historical aspects of aviation. Engineering because me as a mechanical undergrad, I'm super into engineering. Oh, and another thing I'll be doing is slowly making people aware about different situations that might arise in flight, and I believe that might help in reducing some of the fear of flight that exists among travelers. Episode 1, as far as I've planned, is supposed to be this introductory episode, but for the sake of putting in some actual content, we'll also have a teeny tiny educational section, a very important one by the way, where I'll be covering the phenomenon of icing on an aircraft in flight. And I assume some of you may already know why I chose this topic. It's currently conjectured that the recent Vopas crash occurred due to ice accumulation, which by the way is an extremely unfortunate event. And to be honest, if you haven't watched the video yet, please don't watch it. So, anyways, icing means the formation of ice on an aircraft. Ice can form on the airframe, including the control surfaces, or on the engine components, and are respectively known as airframe icing and engine icing. The wing with ice accumulation on it will usually stall at a lower angle of attack and at higher speeds. Oh, by the way, a stall here refers to a loss of lift on a wing. In fact, this stall is different from an engine stall that you may have experienced with your car. I'll try to dedicate a different episode of on the effect of stall. I mean, if you all want. Now, icing can be prevented through various means. Large commercial aircrafts, say the airliners, use some bleed air along the leading edges of the wings and tailplanes. Hot air is bled off one or more engines' compressor sections into tubes routed through wings, tail surfaces, and engine inlets, which by the way are called nacelles. Spent air is exhausted through the holes in the wings' underslides. Another system, that of de-icing, is used in turboprops due to their low engine power and relatively longer wings. They use de-icing pneumatic boots. These are boots that inflate and deflate constantly, which sort of breaks the ice accumulation. Like, it breaks it. Note that these are all in-flight solutions, by the way. In fact, there is a difference between de-icing and anti-icing. De-icing refers to the removal of ice from the airframe, while anti-icing refers to the prevention of accumulation of ice on the airframe. Well, anyways, let's keep today's episode short, and I'm concluding here. See you next. Until then, balls to the walls.